Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to the Kansas Speedway for round 31 of the 2016 NASCAR Spring Up Series season. We are live here from the Kansas Speedway, the Hollywood Casino 400. Race number 2 of round 2, the Contender Round of the NASCAR Spring Up Series playoffs, brings us here to the Kansas Speedway for a 27-lap event. And it is last week's winner from Charlotte, Kevin Harvick, on the pole, the only chase contender lined up on pit lane, who is guaranteed a spot in the Eliminator round of 8. But on the opposite end, the guy on the outside, the 19 of Carl Edwards, crashed out at Charlotte on the last lap last weekend, and now Edwards finds himself about 18 points out of the top 8 in points. Road to a couple of our non-chasers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 88, and the 42 of Kyle Larson. And running out your top 5, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. And then you got Tony Stewart, Eric Almirola, Brian Scott, Jamie McMurray, and Denny Hamlin, your top 10. We have 42 cars lined up on pit lane. And at the top of your screen, you will see the 47 of A.J. Allmendigger's car lined up between Kurt Busch and Regan Smith on the outside lane. And when you see that car on track, you will notice it has a yellow chase banner on the car. Allmendigger is no longer in championship contention. I just have personally forgot to take the yellow banner off the 47 car. I apologize for that, but remember, Allmendigger is no longer in championship contention. This weekend, it is all about the NASCAR Spring Up Series. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, along with the NASCAR Camping Truck Series, are not racing this weekend. It is all about the Cup Series. Next weekend, the NASCAR Camping Road Truck Series and the NASCAR Spring Up Series will be live from the Talladega Superspeedway for the final restricted plate race of the year. But today, it is the NASCAR Spring Up Series at Kansas. And now let's send down track side for the command.
Start your engines!
And now the pace car will lead the field onto the track so they can complete their pace lap before we go green here from Kansas. Kevin Harvick and Carl Edwards, your front row. At the top of your screen, your starting grid is appearing to see where your favorite drivers are going to start. Michael Annett and the 98 of Garrett Smithley, making his NASCAR Spring Up Series debut, will round out the field of 42. The Go Fast Racing number 32 car, driven by Joey Gase, did not qualify on time. So that leaves us now with 42 cars on track, rolling down the back straightaway, heading towards turn 3. Kevin Harvick solidly in round 8, or in round 3, the eliminator of 8 drivers. Harvick will battle it out next round, but Carl Edwards not guaranteed a spot just yet. He's 18 points out entering this weekend. Not necessarily in a must-win situation right now, but he would love to gain a little bit of points, at least half the points if possible, and then go to Talladega and pray for a great run at Talladega next weekend. But they come from turn 4. The pace car is on pit lane. The fans are on their feet, coming down the line. Hollywood Casino 400 is underway. Kevin Harvick gets a great jump on the outside line of Carl Edwards and clears him going down into turn 1. But they're already 3 wide. That's the 1 of McMurray, who was looking to make it 3 wide, getting into turn 1, as Denny Hamlin getting in the back of the 29 of Brian Scott, and Scott gets sideways coming out of turn 2. And they're 3 wide going into turn 3 yet again. Martin Truex Jr. on the inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the outside lane. Then you got Almirola on the inside, McMurray on the inside, and Tony Stewart in the middle. They come from turn 4, and Kevin Harvick will lead lap 1. Edwards second, Truex third, Almirola and Jamie McMurray, your top 5, as look at Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth all moving up on the inside. There's Chase Elliott in the middle. And the outside line already proven that is not where you want to be, as the 17 of Stenhouse goes off track, and he's going to merge up into David Reagan. Up on the outside wall goes David Reagan and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And we've already had a wreck back here. Michael Annett is upside down on the back straightaway, as Kevin Harvick will take the caution flag, and coming off his best finish of the year, a 3rd place at Charlotte, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finds himself in a wreck along with the 55 of David Reagan. Michael Annett on pit lane. It appears his day is over as Regan Smith has some pretty good damage on his number 10 Bass Pro Chevrolet, along with Matty Benedetto and AJ Allmendinger. And let's go back and take a look at the replay of how this all went down. And the caution came out right here. Michael Annett is going to get a little bit of contact from Matty Benedetto off turn number 2. Annett's car will slide up the track and take out the 10 of Regan Smith. And nowhere to go for Allmendinger. Gets collected. Dakota Armstrong ends up helping the 46 go upside down. Then he got the 98 of Garrett Smithley. Didn't really get that much contact. But down here in turn number 3, the 17 has already went off track with on the nose of one of the other drivers, trying to figure out who it was that sent Stenhouse wide off turn 2. And it was actually when Brian Sky got into the left rear corner panel of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Turns Johnson down into Stenhouse Jr. in the 17, and Stenhouse is going to go for a wild ride down here, trying to regain his momentum, but also trying to slow down, getting into the corner, has too much speed, comes up, almost takes out his teammate Trevor Bain and Greg Biffle, ends up taking out the 55 of David Reagan. And when the 10 car was coming up to the 55, I thought right there Regan Smith was going to run right into the 55 of David Reagan, but it appears Michael Annett is done for the day. I expect David Reagan to be going behind the wall very soon. I believe Stenhouse may be able to continue, and he will be. But the 55 of David Reagan is done for the day, and Michael Annett is also, even though he's been upside down and he's now went one lap down, Michael Annett will be able to continue in that Pilot J Chevrolet as the top 3 on track, Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, and Martin Truex Jr. All three contenders lead the field as we're now 5 laps into the Hollywood Casino 400. Welcome back here to Kansas Speedway. We are getting ready for the restart on lap number 7 of 27. That will give us about 20 to go when we go back green here in just a short matter of moments. One driver behind the wall done for the afternoon. That is the 55 of David Reagan, the Aaron Stream Machine Toyota Camry, done for the night or done for the day. The 46 of Michael Annett remains in 41st place, 1 lap down to race leader Kevin Harvick. So Harvick trying to get back-to-back wins. Now, last year and the year before, Joey Logano won the first 2 races in round 2 back in 2014 and 2015. Logano will be unable to do that this season, but Kevin Harvick trying to get the train going and see if he can get another win before Talladega next weekend. Carl Edwards, Martin Truex Jr., Almirola, and McMurray your top 5. Newman, Stewart, Logano, Elliott, and Matt Kenseth your top 10 are back underway. And a pretty good job by the 19 of Carl Edwards stays on the bumper. That 4 of Kevin Harvick as McMurray makes the move for 4th place, getting into turn 1. But Edwards is going for the lead, but here comes a fellow Toyota teammate, Martin Truex Jr. off turn 2 on the bumper, the 19. Looks like Edwards lost a little bit of momentum because the 70 of Truex was right on his bumper as McMurray clears the 43 of Almirola. And now Edwards under attack from the 78 of Martin Truex Jr., but now getting a little bit of a push from the 78 that could give him a little bit of a momentum getting the turn number 1 as there's 3 wide. Stewart in the middle, Almirola up top, and that's the 24 of Chase Elliott making the bottom lane work, and Elliott's going to the front in that 24 car. Got Matt Kenseth right now on the outside looking in on points. Denny Hamlin 22 points above the cutoff. Casey Cannon the 5. Kyle Larson and Jimmy Johnson has some pretty good left side damage on that low Chevrolet. See, he has some tire marks from another car, but it doesn't really appear to be affecting the 48 that much, as Truex is now taking over the 2nd spot from the 19 of Edwards. And now Logano moving on the inside of McMurray, and there comes the 24 Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson making the pass on the 31 of Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, and Brian Scott. What a great run by Brian Scott right now. Right now, Scott is 30th in points and gets in the back of Casey Kane in the tri-oval. Gets that 5 sideways, and Kane doesn't really have the best angle getting into turn 1, but he makes it work and completes the pass on the 31 of Ryan Newman as Brian Scott continues to bump the 5 of Casey Kane. Now he'll make it 3 while getting into turn 3. And Casey Kane has to get out the gas in the middle of a 3-wide battle. That allows the 18 of Kyle Busch to get underneath in turn 3 and make the pass on the 5 of Casey Kane. As battle for the lead heating up, here comes Martin Truex Jr. and he'll take the lead away from the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Last weekend it was Martin Truex Jr. who dominated the race last weekend, leading 20 of the 26 laps, but lost the win. So they got behind him Kevin Harvick, and how about Jamie McMurray trying to get third away from Edwards and now bringing the 24 of Chase Elliott along with him. Could a non-chaser spoil the party and take home the victory? Edwards now losing spots, but he's also losing points. Stewart and Almirola, Hamlin and Larson, that is your top 10. Yeah, Kenseth, Scott, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and Johnson, Newman Jr., Keselowski, Casey Kane, and Chris Buescher. Austin Dillon, Greg Biffle, Ryan Blaney, Clint Bowyer right now 24th. This is not how Clint Bowyer wants to be racing for a championship in round 2, while his teammate Truex is up there leading. Paul Menard, Trevor Bayne, Brian Vickers, Justin Allgaier, Elliott Sadler, and Landon Castle. AJ Allmendinger, Casey Mears, Michael McDowell, Regan Smith, Stenhouse, Bowman, Moffitt, DiBenedetto, Garrett Smithley making his debut right now 39th, and Armstrong 40th, and Michael Annett still 1 lap down in 41st place. Chase Elliott's gotten around McMurray in the 1 and now has taken over that 3rd spot, so Elliott is 3rd, Logano's up to 4th, and McMurray is down to 5th. Denny Hamlin now 6th, Larson, Almirola, Stewart, and Kenseth, Scott, Edwards all the way down to 12th place in that 19 car. And now you got the 20 of Matt Kenseth, who's also on the outside looking in on points. Right now racing the 14 of Tony Stewart. And Brian Scott showing a lot of strength right now in that 29 car. It's been a dismal year for Brian Scott at Richard Childress Racing, and it's been announced already that Brian Scott will move to Richard Petty Motorsports in 2017, as RPM will be expanding to a 3-car team in 2017. Brian Scott will drive the 3rd new car, the number 44, as Regan Smith will move to RPM as well and replace Elliott Sadler. And Elliott now trying to get around the 4 of Kevin Harvick. And I believe should Elliott get around that 4, Elliott may have something for the leader Martin Truex Jr. Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick side by side. Joey Logano wrecked Matt Kenseth in this race 1 year ago, but set up a big controversy going into the 3rd round. And now Kenseth falling back. Edwards and Johnson, Kurt Busch moving up. You got Ryan Newman and Kyle Busch. Some drivers who's running for the championship right now. The Chase drivers running very poorly right now. Casey Kane and Brad Keselowski. Keselowski's been struggling all weekend long. Just can't find the speed, can't find the correct setup for that Miller Lite Ford. Right now running 19th and looking to be possibly in a must-win situation heading into Talladega. Elliott's gotten around the 4 of Kevin Harvick, and so has the 22 of Joey Logano. And last time by, these 2 cars were 2 of the fastest cars on track, and they are catching the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. 2 drivers looking to punch a ticket into round 3 and not have to worry about Talladega next weekend. As a driver in the middle, Chase Elliott looking for his first career win in the NASCAR Spring Cup Series and put himself in the All-Star race next year. He is chasing down leader Martin Truex Jr., but can't pull away from the 22 of Logano. And Logano has about, I believe, 4 wins in 2016. And should Logano win today, I believe he will become the all-time winner in 2016 with a 5th win for that number 22 team. And they are closing in on putting the 26 of Dakota Armstrong 1 lap down. The Winfield Toyota damage from the lap 2 crash, about to go a lap down. And not far ahead of Armstrong is Michael Annett, about to go a 2nd lap down once the leaders catch him. And here comes Elliott chasing down Truex Jr. for the lead. And Armstrong's going to get in the way of leader Truex, and Elliott and Logano nose to tail. They come from turn 4. The top 3 held up by the lap traffic of Armstrong. And they're still held up, and Truex is in the wall. Martin Truex Jr. is in the wall, and so is the 24 Chase Elliott. And Truex comes down the track into Tony Stewart, and it's going to be right down here in turn 1. And they're still wrecking. Jimmy Johnson's involved. Carl Edwards, and they're still wrecking. No drivers are getting on the brakes. Casey Kane's involved. Chris Buescher. Jimmy Johnson, a lot of our chase contenders yet again getting taken out as due to other driver stupidity, as Logano has taken over the top spot. Kevin Harvick, McMurray, Larson, and Denny Hamlin. Almirola, Elliott, Kurt Busch, and that is a big break for Brad Keselowski. He was running 18th, and now he finds himself inside the top 10. But Chris Buescher damaged. Michael Annett, he's already been damaged. But AJ Allmendinger, Brian Scott, a great run gone bad. Tony Stewart, leader Martin Truex Jr. the second week in a row for Truex. He has a dominant car, but nothing to show for it. The team car has a lot of damage. Regan Smith, Michael McDowell, Casey Mears, Casey Kane. This is big for that 5 car. He is only Casey Kane is only 11 points ahead of Edwards. And Edwards is now going to be able to stay on track and try to collect as much points as he can. Now, caution came out with the 26th of Dakota Armstrong. And they are now putting him between Elliott and Kurt Busch. So this may give us at least a 2-lap dash. But the caution came out when the 26th of Dakota Armstrong got in the way of leader Martin Truex Jr. and an impatient Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. See, Truex goes to the outside, comes back to the inside, and Logano's getting in the back of Elliott, who's getting in the back of the 78 of Truex. Elliott drives away, but Truex is going to come back down the track, and Tony Stewart, he has his lane, like he's already committed to the inside lane, and Truex just came down the track and wrecked him. And then Johnson's going to run in the back of the 14 of Tony Stewart. There's Kurt Busch getting involved. Busch comes down the track. Edwards almost had it miss. Kyle Busch gets on the brake, runs in the back of the 19. Kenseth gets a little bit of contact, but nothing serious. But look at the Superman, Brad Keselowski, passing all those cars as Chris Buescher piles in, Casey Kane piles in, and it's complete chaos out here in turn number 1. And then here they are, like a little brake check down here in turn 1. Allmendinger spins on the nose of Stenhouse. A lot of damage on Regan Smith. So a lot of cars are now went behind the wall. They include Paul Menard, Brian Vickers, Chris Buescher, Martin Truex Jr., and this is big for Truex. I mean, he's 38th now. He's going to be in a tight battle to just advance into round 3. Tony Stewart, Stun, AJ Allmendinger, Regan Smith, Michael McDowell, and now Casey Kane is taking his car behind the wall, and he'll be possibly 33rd at the conclusion of this race. And the best we can probably get is a 3-lap dash to the finish. Ryan Newman, the last car on track until he'll pass Casey. Until he'll pass Casey Kane, but Ryan Newman is the last car on track in what will be 32nd place. So the lowest chasers right now is Truex and Kane, who are out of the race. But then you got guys like Johnson, Edwards. I mean, this is complete chaos for Carl Edwards. He's probably going to have to be in a must-win situation next weekend at Talladega. Okay, we're going to be going green this time by, and we have 28 cars on the lead lap. The last one being the 98 of Garrett Smithley. Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, here are your two leaders. Then you got the Ganassi Chevrolets of Jamie McMurray and Kyle Larson, and Denny Hamlin, your top 5. Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch. Ryan Blaney, Austin Dillon, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, and Trevor Bayne. Clint Boyer, who also got a big break from that caution. Dale Jr., Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, and Elliott Sadler, your top 20. So they come from turn 4. Logano and Harvick, your front two. Can Harvick get around the 22 and keep Logano from getting a win and advancing to round 2? Harvick spins his tires as Logano gets a great jump. Here comes McMurray for second place. But we're going to have to watch this 26 of Dakota Armstrong, who continues to be in the way, Armstrong is refusing to get out the way as Austin Dillon nearly takes out Kyle Busch with 3 wide. These drivers, they want to go, but the 26 is not letting them get around, and they come from turn 4. They take the white flag, and it's Logano in front of McMurray. Harvick third, Hamlin fourth, and Larson your top 5. Elliott, Almirola, Kurt Busch, Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney your top 10. But Kenseth's getting held back. So is Jimmy Johnson. These are points that the 20 car is losing. Matt Kenseth falling back, so is Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car. In the turn 3, it's all Joey Logano at the front. His 3rd straight win at Kansas. Joey Logano wins the Hollywood Casino 400 and takes home the checker flag and picks up his 5th win of 2016. And Logano will join Kevin Harvick as the second driver not to worry about racing his way in to round 3 next weekend at Talladega as a season best finish for the one of Jay McMurray in the 1. A great run by Jay McMurray in the 1, Kevin Harvick 3rd, Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Larson getting top 5 finishes. Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, or Elliott. 7th will go to Eric Almirola. A great top 10 by Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Blaney. Coming out here with top 10 finishes. But the big story is Joey Logano advancing in round 3 of the playoffs. But then you have Casey Kane. You have Martin Truex Jr., Jimmy Johnson all in a hole now as we advance into the final race of the contender round next weekend at Talladega. So until then, congrats to the 22 team of Joey Logano on the win. Jay McMurray comes in second, and Kevin Harvick your top 3. We're going to be exiting here at the Kansas Speedway, and we'll move to Talladega next weekend for the Geico 500. Until then, congrats to Logano on his 5th win of the year, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.